Welcome to your second unit, Work with Diverse People. And with this unit, as with a number of units, we are able to offer you the opportunity to complete this via recognition of prior learning. It is quite a common unit across a lot of qualifications, but because we are working successfully, a lot of you working very effectively with diverse cultures, then you should have enough evidence to prove that you don't need to do this unit. So recognition of prior learning is a form of assessment that's different in that, you're looking at your current unit and you are doing your knowledge questions, your practical assessments and so on, and attending classes. Recognition of prior learning, also referred to as RPL, is also another form of assessment that requires you not to complete assessment, but to gather a portfolio of evidence to say, I don't need to do this unit. But the evidence is very important that it is submitted as part of your assessment into the LMS. So when you log into the system now, you will find that you are all enrolled into this unit, Work with Diverse People via RPL. All the e-learning is still available, and I suggest that you complete the e-learning in their entirety, each chapter in their entirety. Once you complete that e-learning, the system will recognise it as being completed and will issue you a non-accredited certificate, which will be part of your evidence. Okay? Now, to complete a portfolio, and this portfolio, some of what you're submitting for this unit will be used for future units that we're going to also do RPL in, includes submitting a copy of a current resume. So what I want you to do, your first step for this unit is to update your resumes to make sure that it includes your current job roles. And maybe in your list of duties in your resume, you would like to refer to how you support a diverse range of cultures as a case manager or as a support worker. We need a copy of your job description, and your job description at Meditech Staffing is also as part of your employment contract. I need a copy of that and a copy of the signed code of conduct. All of those things you can redact, black out any private and personal information, such as your salary, work hours, anything that you don't want to share. That's absolutely fine. Just redact that with a black marker. But we need a copy of all of that. That is, again, just building up a portfolio of documentation evidence to say I'm currently working in this job role. I'm currently working with a range of diverse people. If we have any workplace appraisals, you can send them through. And then when it talks about induction training records, this is what I mean. If you do the e-learning by completing those 4 e-learning modules, those 4 chapters for this unit, you'll get a certificate. So that will be our training that you've done, cultural awareness training. In addition to that, what we'll also ask you to do is a challenge test, and this is a verbal oral questioning, and it's not really a test because you get the questions beforehand to prepare for this oral conversation that you're going to have with Kylie. So in the next month, Kylie's going to organise a one-on-one online meeting with you all at a mutually suitable time, and she's going to conduct this challenge test. But you'll see that you have access to the challenge test now to start preparing for that. So it's not like we're going to be putting you on the spot. Additionally, you will have some workplace practical questions to ask. Generally, these are scenarios that, again, you get a copy of them so that when Kylie organises the one-on-one, and I think the challenge test and the workplace questions and the oral questions, these 3 tasks can be done in the same one-on-one. It shouldn't take that long. But if you need to do them over a couple of one-on-one sessions, that's fine as well. We also will need to obtain a signed third-party report from your supervisor. I'll get that from Rabi. He'll gladly sign this to say that you're all competent in working with a diverse range of people. So leave task 5 to me. But then this is where it gets a little bit more gritty for you guys and your action items, because then we need to start collecting evidence, workplace documentation that is used towards your portfolio. Now, this may be real or simulated progress notes. So perhaps you will look at the requirements in these progress notes and say, yeah, I just did one of those last week, so I can have a copy of those progress notes, and you'll submit a copy of those progress notes as part of your portfolio of evidence. Again, if you want to de-identify client information, client names, I highly recommend you do that to meet privacy legislation requirements. So in these progress notes, we need progress notes on at least 3 clients from diverse social and cultural backgrounds that you have supported. And the progress notes need to indicate communication issues that you addressed, including misunderstandings due to cultural or language difficulties, and the strategies you used to address them. So that may be as simple that you're visiting a client that doesn't speak English and you have bothered to learn how to say hello, buongiorno, or come sta, how are you, right? Mitzi, correct me if my accent is right there.
Buongiorno and come stai?
Come stai.
Or come
okay.
estás?
Come estás. Okay, get it read. Come and stay or come sta. So, it can be simple as that. It could be that you took along with you communication cards and that you to try and communicate with the client about how to, what their meal requirements were like. And that you put that in your progress notes. So, but you need 3 different clients from ideally 3 different diverse social and cultural backgrounds. If you've got 3 Italians, that's fine as well. Just do 3 notes. But ideally, it'd be nice to be able to indicate that you are communicating with a diverse range of multicultural clients, because this is working with diverse people. Yeah. It could be to do with, spiritual beliefs. It could be that you, I don't know, what, respected, you can't take your shoes off, can you? Maybe you took someone to their church, okay? And you didn't enter the church, or when you entered their church, if, you wore appropriate clothing, okay? Anything like that. Okay, included in the notes, I've got a list of things. We need notes that indicate that you have recognised concepts of cultural awareness, cultural safety, and cultural competence. Now, if you don't know what those 3 terms are, then I suggest you Google them to think about how you are demonstrating that you are culturally aware, promoting cultural safety and cultural competence. Okay? Can't do all the work for you guys. Then you need evidence of how you have assisted a client to engage in activities that reflect their physical, social, cultural, or spiritual needs. Can anyone think of any examples of how you do that? How do you, can you give me any examples of how you engage in activities that reflect the needs of your client related to their physical needs, their social needs, their cultural or spiritual needs? Can you think of any examples of how you do this?
Can I go?
Yeah. Terry's just said, linking them into other cultural services that, are in their local area, but that's a good one, Terry. Thank you. And Mitzi, your suggestion?
Well, so for example, when you go to a particular client, say for example, an Italian client, even though like you've been going there for months or years, you don't assume that you're allowed in without knocking or without asking to be allowed in. So, by respecting their home.
Yep, their physicals, their presence, their social needs. Yeah. Then perhaps, do you have any clients that might be from the LGBTQI community? How do you show respect and accommodate a client's expression of identity or sexuality? It may be that you respect someone, who is Muslim by, avoiding direct eye contact, or Japanese, the same, or, perhaps your religion doesn't really get or, accept LGBTQI, but you don't judge anyone, and you, accept people based on their own value system. Anything like that. Emails where you have contributed to the development of workplace and professional relationships based on, I missed one, I think. Evidence of recognising situations where misunderstandings may arise from diversity and formed appropriate responses. Perhaps you had a gay client last week going on about Mardi Gras and you were uncomfortable talking about it, okay, but you didn't show that discomfort and just accepted them and you said, good on you, have a great time, okay? Whatever. So there's just some examples, yeah? Emails where you have emails. So we're moving from progress notes to emails. So we want real or simulated emails where you have contributed to the development of workplace and professional relationships based on appreciation of diversity and inclusiveness. Now, Mitzi, I can refer to you because in Musings each week, she is always promoting the importance of not passing any judgment and personal judgment or beliefs onto any clients. You know, so perhaps Mitzi might do a simulated email to her colleagues, you know, about, I hope you, sorry if you missed last week's Musings where we discussed XYZ. It was received very positively by the support workers. Yeah. Mitzi, have you got any other examples you'd like to share? Because I know you're a wealth of knowledge with regards to this.
Oh, my brain's still fried.
Too early?
Caffeine
Too early for
hasn't
Friday.
kicked in yet.
No caffeine. Anyway, you start thinking about these sorts of things. I'm sure that as you do the e-learning modules, then by completing the e-learning modules, it'll start clicking some things in your brain. Oh yeah, I do that. I do these things. Oh yeah, I see. I know how, you know, what I can talk about here. It doesn't have to be real. It can be simulated. So you can simulate progress notes. Just create a Word document as if it's a progress note. I don't think the organisation has a progress note template, but you can just, you know, what data needs to be in it. So simulate a Word document. You can simulate an email. I'll give you an email address. You can send an email. Usually I put it up there. We've got one for assessments. It's called assessment@meditechtrainingcollege.com.au. I will put that in there. You can send an email to that email address as if you're emailing your colleagues or your colleague or your manager. Okay. Emails where you have identified and acted on ways to improve your own self and social awareness. Now, again, maybe you might like to download the learner guide for this unit, and there's hyperlinks and references in that learner guide. You might go off and start, you know, find some free training on cultural awareness. If you look at the SBS Cultural Atlas website, you might subscribe to that. And I think I've promoted that website before. It's a brilliant resource, especially for, you know, you've got a lot of information about multitude of cultural and religious backgrounds, and it's all the do's and don'ts of communicating with people from various different cultural backgrounds. So that one could simply be that you show me evidence that you've registered for the SBS Cultural Atlas. Okay, perhaps there's another website called Cultural something or other. What's it called? Aged Care Cultural. I can't think of the name of it. I'll email it to you. But they have a lot of I think it's actually up here in additional resources. You might want to come up to other resources. Well, that's the policies, relevant policies. Let's go down to additional resources. This one. So you might want to check. There's some free Indigenous cultural awareness training. You might complete that. You might complete the human rights free training. You might actually go and, there's a cultural program there. Yeah, it's not there. I'll have to go and find it. It's Cultural Communication for the Aged or something. It's actually an association, and they provide information about cue cards, communication cue cards. Yes, I'll find that and communicate that to you. Then we need notes, going back to progress notes on any cultural financials issues impacting your client's well-being. Okay, perhaps you have to write progress notes because there's a cultural barrier or a cultural communication barrier, or your client is impacted because of these needs. Financial issues, that's come up in this unit. I don't know why, but anyway, I guess that's social and physical, maybe, or cultural even, potentially. And then any notes on the needs of marginalised groups, including any protective factors, physical, mental and emotional health issues and care needs, or consideration of impacts of discrimination, trauma, exclusion and negative attitudes. All right. So what's a protective factor? Again, I'm not going to tell you that. It would be in the e-learning module. It would be in the learner guide. So you may have to still do some research on different terms that have come up here so that you can then interpret that to say, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to write an email about this, or I'm going to perhaps suggest you're going, perhaps, with the programs that you're promoting in your Oh, that's a different unit. That's a different group. So, you know, I know that upstairs is promoting the combating social loneliness. You know, perhaps you might write an email to your boss about how you know, got a suggestion for a cultural awareness social calendar or something like that, to bring in people from these marginalised sectors, yeah, or groups. Basically, with that type of evidence, and some of this evidence might be combined into one progress note, or you don't need one progress note for each dot point. You might have one progress note that covers numerous dot points. You might have one email that covers a multiple, you know, a couple of lines there of data. So it's really not a lot of work. It is just a matter of you interpreting what that actually means in your day-to-day role as either a case manager or support worker, and how that may be interpreted when you are supporting different clients from different social and diverse backgrounds, cultural and diverse backgrounds. So how does that sound? Any questions? I'm worried because you're quiet. Are you quiet because that's too much, or the chat here? Good morning. Hi, Bernadette. Yeah. Okay, so what do you do with all that data? So what you do with all that data is when it's, oh, here's the evidence portfolio. This is all the workplace practical assessment you'll need to do, the challenge test and the oral questions. The evidence portfolio, that is really just a document that summarises everything I've just talked about, okay? And the third party report is what I'll get Rabi to sign for all of you. So you guys just need to download the workplace practical, the challenge test and the oral questions. So they're the things that you need to download, understand the questions that are being asked, and be ready to have an oral conversation with Kylie at a predetermined one-on-one meeting time so that you can go through all of that together very informally, basically. So what will happen is Kylie will scribe your answers, dot point, and that will be the assessment. Yeah. So by the collection of the portfolio of evidence from part 2 there, the oral questions, workplace practical and challenge test, one-on-one with Kylie, plus your resume, your job description, the e-learning certificate you're going to get by doing these e-learning modules, that will be your assessment for this unit. Yeah. What I haven't got here is somewhere for you to upload it. I will add that in there as well. And when you're ready, you'll just add the documents. And it'll be, it'll look a bit like this. I'll bring that up. No worries, Bernadette. Just let me know if you have any questions. I have recorded this, although the fan is on in the background. What I'm going to add to your file is somewhere for you to upload all of your evidence, and it will look like this. So you'll click on it and it will say add submission. So you click on add submission. So it's different to what you've done in your previous unit with all the online, you know, you can do it all online. With this one, this is related to another unit, but yours will look the same. You can just drag and drop all those files we've just talked about into this section. Okay. And that might take you a month to keep adding to it. So keep saving your changes and don't actually press submit until you've got all your evidence in there. Okay. So nothing was submitted. So you click here, you can either upload a file or you can drag and drop a file. So I'm just going to put any old file in there.
Sorry, Leanne, your screen is still sharing. I just can't see your screen.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Take 2. Okay, try again. So you're going to come across to a section that will look like this. It will say upload your assessment. This is a different unit, so it looks a bit different, but yours will look very similar. And when you come here, you'll be able to add your submission, upload your file and save your changes.
Mm-hmm.
Once you've done all of that, probably you can keep adding to it, and don't press the submit button until all your evidence is there. But if you do press a submit, don't worry, I can unlock it. You know, it just means if you press submit, it will close it off and you won't be able to keep adding to it. So submit is sort of your final yes, I'm ready. That's it. That's all the evidence I'm submitting. Okay.
Okay.
Now, as far as when this is due on the 12th of April. So you've got plenty of time to do this. That's a month to collect this evidence. There won't be any online classes. So all of these are gone. Okay, I'll send you an updated schedule, which means that anyone that's asked for extensions on their assessment, you've just bought a bit of time. You've got a bit of leeway this month, you know, to get your assessment in for your first unit and then to start working on this. Okay, because the next unit's going to start on the 12th of April. It will be everyone here in class with Kylie for 4 hours in the 2 groups. You know how we had to split you into the 2 groups? So some people will come in the morning and some people will come in the afternoon. It will be a 4-hour training session on the 12th of April. What we're going to set up, and I'll speak to Kylie about it today, is some time each week. It might be after hours where Kylie hopefully will be available online as a bit of a drop-in. So, you know, I'm here online, I'll pay her to be online, maybe Wednesdays, whatever, Thursdays, 7 o'clock for an hour. And so if anyone wants to drop in, you can drop in and say, I don't know what I'm doing here, there, or everywhere. Yeah. But I'll communicate that to you. Okay. Any questions? Joan's just what? Just Shirley just arrived. Okay, so, okay. Do we have a thumbs up? Is everybody happy? Processing what you're saying. Cool. We're good. Kylie, anything to add here? You're on mute.
Sorry about that. I think you've covered it all. That was a good presentation, Leanne.
Oh, good stuff. All righty. It has been recorded, so I will send the recording out to everybody. And congratulations, you're doing a great job with Unit 1. As I said, if you're needing more time, what's the important thing is communication. It doesn't matter. I don't care about you needing an extension. What I care about is that you actually pick up the phone or send us a message saying, I need more time. I plan to submit it by this date. Yeah. Then, you know, that date comes along and you're not ready, the day before saying, I'm so sorry, I got swamped. My new date is this date, right? But we'll put up with that so long before we'll say get into gear, right? But it is about that communication, that back and forth. I had a conversation with someone earlier. I wasn't sure if it was right. Remember, you just submit it and Kylie would tell you where you're wrong. That is part of the vet learning loop. Submitting something that perhaps is not 100%, and it's all right for Kylie to come back and say, you're nearly there, but I need X, Y, Z. Yeah, or you're on the wrong path. Redirect. If, as I said, you're just struggling completely, then, you know, Kylie will be online, hopefully, you know, at a time once a week for you just to drop in. Also, she's always here Fridays. Okay. Okay, I think that's it.
Can I just add something real quickly?
Sure.
I'm available if anybody needs any assistance. I'm available between now and 12. I've got I do have some recordings to do, but if anybody needs to talk to me, just send me an email real quickly and then I'll put aside some time for you.
Awesome. Excellent, Kylie. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, and have a great day.
Thank you. Thanks, Leanne. Kylie, I'm
worries.
going
Bye.
to see
Bye.
you 1 o'clock, or you want me to
Thanks,
just
Leanne.
pop in now?
CHCDIV will do that over Teams.
Sorry, say again.
We'll do that over Teams. I'll send you out another invite now at 1 o'clock.
Yep, sure.
Perfect.
See you at 1. Thanks, darling.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye.
Bye.